Texas, dominating win, big time win. I thought it'd be a little bit closer. But sometimes this game plays out this way. Obviously, we won the first one a couple years ago. Sark's, what was it, his first one? No, his second Red River rivalry game. We won 49-0. This one we win 34-3. Big time win. Defense balled out. Offense was a little bit sluggish. We will talk about that. But please hit that like button. Subscribe down below. Check out the Amazon link in the description. Does not change the buying process. Does not take away any money out of your pocket. All it does is put a little bit of money in Mark's pocket. So please check that out. Also, if you'd rather listen to me than watch me, you can catch me on your favorite audio platform, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. Just type in the Voice of College Football. Go to the Texas site, go to the SEC site. Whatever your flavor is, you can find it. We have all of them available over there on your favorite audio platform. Remember, Texas has never seen a defense like 0U. Yeah, I remember that, Charlie Williams. We never have seen a defense like Oklahoma. Yeah. So be it. I think they haven't seen a defense like ours, honestly. Texas destroys Oklahoma 34-3. And let me get some things off my chest first before we get this started for the second time. So, in the offseason, I heard Parker Thune on this network say Oklahoma is a more talented football team than Texas. And I laid out why that was not the case. Obviously, today, they were missing a lot of wide receivers. They would not have won that game today, even if you put all 5 of those wide receivers. Their offense isn't very good. Their quarterback is not very good. The scheme is not very good. Their offensive line is not very good. I also got hate from, I forget this guy's name, Hall of Fame Jason in the Coach Hall of Fame podcast or something like that. Very stupid. It's not the guy you're thinking of. It's an Oklahoma fan. If I'm getting that name wrong, I'm not calling out the big-time guy that used to coach Last Chance U. But anyways, he said, I released a video on the SEC channel. I said Texas had a better defensive line than Oklahoma. He called me an idiot. Edited his comment, said, sorry, didn't mean to say that, but you're wrong. No, I wasn't wrong. I was right. You're the idiot. So Parker Thune and whatever that guy's name is, you guys are idiots. You guys don't know what you're talking about. You're wrong on multiple points, and you keep feeding this bullshit to your stupid fan base. And I do not understand it. I've said that too. If you're getting for your information as a Texas fan from the wrong source of people, you will think your team is better than it actually is. And that is never a good look for a fan base. I want you to be realistic fans here. That's what I try to do, is keep it realistic. But we dominated this game, and this team can definitely win the national championship. We do have to take steps forward on the offensive side of the ball. We saw that today. But I will say this was the best running game we had all year, guys. We ran the ball very well. And let's jump into the offense. So let's see here. I think overall, guys, I think the offense played a pretty damn good game. Quinn Ewers was rusty. He's 20 of 29 for 200 or 199 yards, a touchdown, and 1 interception. And I will say it's rust because, guys, when is the last time Quinn Ewers overthrew a guy in the middle of the field? I don't know. I was trying to rack my brain on that when that was when he overthrew Matthew Golden, who was wide open in the middle of the field. He does overthrow people occasionally, but it's usually not in the middle of the field like that. Usually it's on the outside on a deep ball and like a go route. So to me, that's rust. That's something Quinn normally doesn't do, and that is rust. The other one to Isaiah Bond was a little bit more concerning because either he read that wrong or it's just an overall bad throw. I don't put that on rust because he was wide open. All he has to do is flick his wrist, and it's a touchdown. And if he's thinking he's going to sit down there, it's still an underthrown football. So not a great throw there from Quinn. That one to me isn't as much on rust, though you could argue it was. But overall, domination from the offensive line. They allowed 1 sack on the game, and that is it. Also, guys, I said after the Mississippi State game, I was concerned with running backs fumbling. We fumbled. Now, we got lucky, and Silas Bolden made a hell of a play. Hell of a play, hell of an effort. He's going to be remembered for that for a long time. He's 12 yards behind the play, like 4 to 5 yards behind Danny Stutzman, who had the best case to get that ball for Oklahoma, and he was able to run it down, track it down, get in the end zone, and score a touchdown. Big play by him. But Trey Wisner, you need to hold on the ball. Jaden Blue, you need to hold on to the ball. But overall, I said Trey Wisner was our best running back. I think he's our number 1 running back. I don't think there's really a discussion there to be had. He is the most effective guy on a down in and down out basis. My issue is, do I think his body can hold up? I do not know. I don't know if his body can hold up. We're going to have, and that's why Quinn needs to knock off this rust and in a hurry. And honestly, guys, I'll give him another quarter versus Georgia. But if he cannot do that versus Georgia, then we may have to look at Arch. We may. I'm not at that point yet. I think everyone was overreacting on Twitter. I said that. I saw that a lot is Arch has to come into the game. Arch has to come into the game. Arch has to come into the game. But the running backs definitely need to hold on to the ball. But Trey Wisner, 13 for 118 and a touchdown. Phenomenal. He would have had 2 if he held on to the ball. Jaden Blue, 10 for 30. Not very good. Ryan Wingo, 1 for 25 on that reverse. And then Quinn also ran one in, 4 attempts for 3 yards and a touchdown there. Jared Gibson only had 1 carry, and it was half a yard, so not great for him. But Gunnar Helm finally got back in the mix. And it's pretty clear to me, guys, on the offensive side of the ball, Gunnar Helm and Quinn Ewers have the best connection there. Great connection. 5 receptions, 91 yards, and a touchdown. He hurdled the guy again, did a backflip, landed on his back, probably didn't feel great. Ryan Wingo, 2 receptions, 49 yards. That guy is, again, way faster than you think he is. Very long strider. I'm trying to think who he reminds me of, but there's very few guys. It's weird how he runs, but he's fast. Like, I just don't understand it. Looking at him, he doesn't look like he should be that fast, but he is. DeAndre Moore, 3 receptions, 25 yards, but he came down with a very important catch on the sideline to kind of get Quinn Ewers back into rhythm. Great catch. Not enough to dispute there on the replay. And guys, that is why you wear white cleats. It blends in with the sideline, and that made it not eligible to be overturned. If he had any other cleat on, he's probably getting that overturned, honestly. This is special teams, I guess. I'll marry it in with the offense. Bert Auburn has to be better. That is a makeable kick. He was 2 of 3 on the day. His long was 41 yards. I think that was a 44-yard kick he missed, and he got 2 chances at it, and he missed them both. He has to be better. I believe he is now 4 of 5 on the year, or 4 of 6 on the year, and both of them were makeable kicks to me. So, got to be better. There's going to be a situation when he's called upon, when he has to hit a big kick. I need you to hit that big kick. And I will say this, I'll marry this in as well. Ian Ratliff punted pretty well today. I was actually quite impressed. I think he might be better than Michael Kern. It's hard to tell because neither of them have punted very much this year. But his first punt was his worst, and he got better consistently throughout the game. And that's also a situation I think we should monitor as a fan base. Michael Kern, was he hurt or did he get benched? Because he was questionable, then he was probable, and then he was off the injury list, and then he didn't play. So I don't know what's going on there. That's a very odd situation. Hopefully Isaiah Bond is okay. Quinn, made that throw to him. It wasn't a catchable ball. I kind of wish he just let it go over his head. He jumped up in the air, took a big hit, fell. They said it was an ankle. I see how that was an ankle. He didn't really get twisted up on there, but he was limping off. I'm hoping that's not a long-term concern for Texas because he is the best wide receiver we have. I don't think he'll be the best wide receiver in this room when it's all said and done. I think Ryan Wingo, when he comes out, will be better than Isaiah Bond. But as of now, he is the best wide receiver we have. But overall, to me, just rust from Quinn. I'm not super concerned about it. I know other people were. Were we up earlier, or would we have been up earlier if Arch Manning is in the game compared to Quinn in this game? Yes, but at some point, Quinn was going to have to come back, and I think it's better to come back here than versus Georgia. I would have loved for him to come back versus Mississippi State to knock the rust off, and then he would have been better in this game. But let's knock off the rust here because we are legitimately playing a top 5 team. Are they great? No. And this is a down year, in my opinion, in all of college football, because if you look around, I was watching a little bit of Ohio State and Oregon before I jumped on here for the second time to give it a try. Neither of those teams, super impressive to me. Georgia gave up 31 points to Mississippi State, guys. So I may go watch that game just to see what happened there, if that was a time of possession thing. But 41 to 31. 31 points to Mississippi State's not good. And you saw what they did versus Alabama. And South Carolina held Alabama in check mostly today. So I just don't think their defense is as good as normal. I don't really love Carson Beck. To me, it's going to be what quarterback can step up and play the best. If Quinn Ewers had been in rhythm and hadn't missed any games going into this game this season versus Georgia, I think we end up winning that game pretty easily. But it'll be interesting if he's able to knock off the rust. But let's still stay concentrated on this game. Defense. Phenomenal. Did not allow a touchdown versus, listen, this isn't a great offense, but it's probably the best offense we've played up until this point. I think there's an argument to be made there. It's between Oklahoma, Louisiana Monroe, and obviously Mississippi State to this point. I don't think Michigan has an argument for that. But overall, the defense was phenomenal. Anthony Hill, Listen, I will say this. I respect Gabe Ikard. I respect Teddy Lemon. I think they offer the best content on Oklahoma football on YouTube. The only other content you can catch like that is the Voice of College Football. I believe Jason Ray does a very good job on the Oklahoma channel. But everywhere else, it's homers and it's people that honestly have no business talking football. And domination. Anthony Hill shut up Ikard today. He had 10 tackles. He had what? 3 tackles for loss. He had a sack. I thought he had 2 sacks, honestly. He played a phenomenal game for the Texas Longhorns. By far the leading tackler. You had three other guys with 4, Leona LaFau, Derek Williams, and Colin Simmons. Anthony Hill was flying around. And this is the game. I understand Ikard's point, but this wasn't the game to make that point. This game was a game where Anthony Hill could kind of fly around and use his athleticism. I understand if he's going up against a complex team with a veteran quarterback who can deliver the ball in certain situations and certain opportunities that he's given. And that could confuse Anthony Hill. Anthony Hill's issue is in coverage and reading coverage and sitting in zone. He didn't have to do that today. He was on the balls of his feet, attacking downhill, using his athleticism and attacking the quarterback. That is his game. That guy is a freak athlete. A guy at 6'3", 6'4" should not be able to move that way. And that's why I didn't really understand the point. The point is correct, but it was in the wrong context. Anthony Hill is built for this game. Anthony Hill is built to come downhill and punch a quarterback, punch a running back in the mouth. And you saw that multiple times. And it is fixed, guys. Actually, 10 tackles for 10 tackles total, 6 solo tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. They added the sack on from when the first time we tried to run this postgame show. He was phenomenal today. Leona LaFau, actually phenomenal as well. He blew up on my TV screen, and he's done that every time he played. So we got another stud. Next year, guys, this is so exciting. We're going to have Anthony Hill. We're going to have Leona LaFau. We're going to have Colin Simmons. We're going to have Malik Muhammad. We're going to have Michael Taft. We're going to have Derek Williams. We're going to have Xavier Filsaime. This defense is going to be better next year, in my opinion, than it is this year. And this year, it's at worst a top 10 defense. I actually think at worst it's top 5 because, again, I do believe it is a down year all around in college football. And the only defenses, in my opinion, that I have laid eyes on that can compete are Kentucky, Clemson, Ohio State, maybe Tennessee, and maybe Ole Miss. And that's a maybe. So at worst, we're talking the 6th best defense in the country. Phenomenal job by Pete Kwiatkowski. I think he's finally realized we're going to keep it simple. We have the players, and they're just allowing them to fly around and attack. And that is a beautiful thing to see. If you're a Texas fan, this defense has been phenomenal. The offense had its worst game. We played a C- football game all around, and we won this game by 31 points versus a team that's probably like the 30th best team in the country. We beat a top 30 team by 31 points at a neutral site venue playing our C- game. That has not been said at Texas since the end of the Mac Brown era. It is a phenomenal job what Steve Sarkisian has done with this defense. The offense and Quinn Ewers needs to knock off the rust. But if we can continue the running game that we had in this game, then this team can win a national championship. If you're going to give Quinn Ewers time to knock off rust with this type of run game and this defense, honestly, next week's the only game we can lose. I fully believe that. Looking around at the schedule, looking around the country, it's the only game we could lose on the schedule.